and become ungrateful. So in a way, like, always trying to look for the good in the situation is what I try to do. Otherwise, I go insane. Alright, good morning ladies. Welcome back to the Well-Nourished Homemaker. I hope you all are doing well. Today I just wanted to do a little sit down chit chat. Get ready with me. I asked a Q&A and previously I had asked some questions a while back ago, so I just want to combine those as well. And I'm just a little low energy today. I started my cycle yesterday and then last weekend we went on a little 2-day vacation with the family. And that was nice, so I'm just trying to like rest, but I still wanted to film a video today, so I thought sitting down doing a chit chat is much more relaxing, not expending a lot of energy. And I'm just gonna sit here and look at my notes on my computer and get ready to do my hair and makeup with you. So yeah, if you ladies need to get ready for the morning or you need something to listen to while you're doing some homemaking around the house, I hope you enjoy today's video and you find some homemaking motivation. Yeah, I'm just in my cozy clothes. I'm in my sweats and my slippers, so definitely just probably going to stay in those for the rest of the day. After this, I will probably lay in bed until Lydia wakes up and watch a little bit of my show. I got this shirt where we went. It's the Shawnee State Park. It was the lodge. It was so beautiful. Little stressful with kids and stuff, but overall, like, I'm trying to enjoy when we have family vacations and not to be feeling so overwhelmed and on edge. I'm trying to be mindful and be more intentional, like everything's okay, like the kids are, you know, gonna be kids. Just try to enjoy it, because otherwise, you know, it just, you can really make yourself like have a bad attitude and a bad time on a family vacation. While yes, it's going to be stressful, I think again it's all in how your attitude is and going into it and preparing yourself mentally and preparing and expecting like trials and difficulties, but yet at the same time you have chosen to choose joy despite that. So yeah, I was so excited. I love collecting little shirts like this, and I get like oversized. But anyways, I'm rambling. But yeah, I am going to go ahead and start. Let me take a drink of my coffee. Start with my hair. I already took a shower this morning. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and spray. It's a 10 leave-in miracle conditioner because it is the best. You can get the Equate one. It's like a dupe for it, and that works I think just as good, but I'm really trying to be diligent when it comes to my hair care, so I'm just trying to get like the best of the best. And this has keratin in it as well, so really super good hydrating, and it's a heat protectant as well. I'm not for sure if the Equate one is a heat protectant. I know it's like deep leave-in conditioner, but I was afraid that it wasn't also like a heat protectant, and that's really important. So yeah, I'm gonna go in with my wet comb brush I got at Walmart a while back ago. I just try to start from the ends and work my way up. I'm not the type to want to let my hair air dry while it's not brushed. I like it brushed out and then let it air dry a little bit and then go in and blow dry. So yeah. Okay, we got the wet, sleeked hair look going. I already went in earlier with my moisturizing face cream. I absolutely love this. I rave about it all the time. Super clean ingredients: extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, aloe vera juice, distilled water, rose water, beeswax, rosemary antioxidant. Oh, soft and buttery and hydrating for the skin. I like putting this on before I apply my foundation. I did do yesterday you probably can't tell because the light is super overcast right now, so it's bright and I'm looking a little white, but that's okay. I do have a self tan on. I think before I start blow drying my hair, I'm gonna let it air dry a little bit more, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with my foundation. This is my favorite foundation. I've talked about it many times. I'll try and link it below. It's in the shade 280. It's an all-in-one coconut cream foundation. It's like food for your face, so super clean ingredients. So yeah, I just use my fingers. I go in and dot. Then I go in with my IT Cosmetics. It's the Complex Blend brush, so it's like the foundation brush. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a Q&A. Oh my gosh. See? Okay, I'll just go ahead and look off here on my computer and go through the questions as well. You know me, ladies, I can't multitask here, so I'm gonna try my best. But okay, goals for February. As of yesterday, I'm doing like an intermittent fasting challenge. So I'm gonna do like before and after pictures, measurements, videos, and then I'm gonna do the 18-6 method. I've been doing a lot of research and I find that it seems like that is the best method to do when you're trying to lose weight. I know Jennifer from the Daily Connoisseur, she does the 18-6 method. So I'm gonna stop eating at 4 p.m. It was gonna be at 5 p.m., but I'm like, what's an hour to me in the evening time? Then an hour taken away from me in the morning time because I wake up early. It's hard for me to like push past. I did that this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change it to 10 a.m. because it still feels like the morning and I can still like have my breakfast at 10 a.m. and have my creamer and my coffee rather than just pushing it back to 11. It just feels like, oh, it's lunch already, and then it's kind of gets me off balanced a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna stop eating at 4 p.m. and start at 10 a.m. So that's the 18-6 method. Anything in between my fasts, you can only do. If you ladies want to do this as well, you're welcome to. It's a 30-day challenge in the month of February. Obviously, consult your doctor in that way if you feel you have any medical conditions, but I have a friend doing it with me as well, so it's nice. We can motivate each other. And yeah, I'm really super excited. There's a few rules and guidelines. 18-6 method. During your fast window, you can just have black coffee, water, electrolytes, or tea. That's it. No creamer in your coffee. And then what else? We are going to be working out in a fasted state. So the goal is to get our workouts in the morning because that is like known to be the most beneficial for burning fat. That's my main goal, is to burn the fat around my abdominal area, because it's not only for like how I feel and feeling confident and trying to be in the best shape that I can be before I start getting older, so I can just be in maintenance mode once I'm starting to get older. I know I'm gonna have to tweak it here and there, and what worked before is not gonna work then, but I want to get in the best shape I can be in as young as I am now, being 33, if you call that young, before I get into my 40s, where it's gonna be a lot more difficult to lose that fat around that area. When you have that excess fat around your area, the residual fat, that can open you up to more health problems. It is an indication that you might have like fatty liver disease. It's not good for your organs. So I'm just trying to burn that fat, because aside from like looks and aesthetics and everything like that, for health reasons, it's like really important. So as far as our fitness goes, 2 days out of the week, we're gonna do weight training, anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. And then the other 3 days, we're gonna do walking. So anywhere from 30 to an hour on the treadmill outside. So, and then 2 days resting. So yeah, 2 days weight training, focus on core strength. 3 days out of the week, we're gonna do walking, and then 2 days rest. So we're gonna focus on enough protein. I don't wanna say high protein, I just wanna say enough protein. Enough protein for what my body needs, enough protein for what your body needs. And then focus on high healthy fats, and we're definitely not staying away from, you know, carbs, healthy carbs, but getting in our fiber. Focus on sleep priority, hydrate, obviously do your supplements. It's not about restricting what you can eat, but it's more so when you can eat, which I think sets you up to be more mindful and intentional when you can eat. It's almost kind of like an incentive or that push you need in order to like make the healthier, wiser choices, because you know, okay, I need to be very intentional with what I eat because I only have this short window, and I need to get in my nutrition, I need to get in my protein, I need to get in my fats, and I'm not just gonna waste that on, you know, eating a pizza or having a hamburger, because I know that's gonna make me feel groggy. And it just, so in that way, I think it's good too. I'm gonna go ahead and do my blush. This is the Maybelline and the shade Sunset Passion. Again, going in with the IT Cosmetics. This is the blush brush. I love this. And yeah, I'm documenting it as well. So hopefully I can make a video out of this and see, like, help you ladies maybe you postpartum mamas out there who are trying to figure out a way in order to get fit and healthy. And okay, so the next question is current books. So actually my friend gifted me the Queen's Code and we are reading it together. And the Queen's Code it's by Alison Armstrong. And if you're familiar with the Empowered Wife, Laura Doyle, then you will probably most likely like the Queen's Code. And it's a guide to understanding men more and helping transform relationships. It emphasizes like communication, respect, and appreciating the differences between the male and female. The book uses like storytelling to offer insights and strategies on building healthier, more fulfilling relationships. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to link it below. But yeah, that is currently what I'm reading. I just now finished chapter 1. And I have to say, I absolutely love it, and it reels you in. You're anxious and anticipating like the next chapter, and it's just very insightful. It helps you, like I said, understand men's way of thinking, how they operate. That way we as women don't misunderstand them and become resentful and become bitter, helping us to understand how they think and how they actually are listening to us and how they respond to us, and accepting how they do that, almost like showing their love language, even though it's maybe something that is not necessarily how we receive, but understanding like how they show it and how we can accept it and how we can receive it and how we can appreciate it. So yeah, highly recommend that book if you ladies want to read that for the month of February. Okay, next I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow palette. I found this at Aldi. It's so beautiful, and it was like $5, so super good quality too. So I usually use Rust just to go around like this and blend it in like that. As Jacqueline Hill would say, blend baby, blend. If any of you OGs out there who used to watch Jacqueline Hill with makeup tutorials, give this a thumbs up. And then I go in with Regal. It's like a rose gold shimmer, pinky mauve color, super beautiful. So yeah, I just go in with that. I am not a makeup artist. I just, you know, try my best. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing like an online book club where we maybe every 3 months make it like seasonal, because, you know, busy mom. It's hard to read a book every month, but maybe like every 3 months I'll like get a group together online and go over like the book that we had been reading in the last 3 months. I don't know, what do you ladies think about that? I've been wanting to do that for a while now, and I think it would be a good opportunity. Obviously I want the books to be, you know, wholesome. I don't want them to be controversial, light, airy, educational. So I think the Queen's Code would be really good for that. Also, the Empowered Wife, I could just start with those, right? I'm not for sure. I'm gonna have to look into that because I really want to do that. I don't know if we could do like a live stream every 3 months on YouTube. That could be cool. Let me know about that too, and any books that you recommend. Okay, I have my foundation, my blush, my eyeshadow. Maybe I should go in and go ahead and do, my hair is getting a little dry, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Suave mousse just to give it some more texture and hopefully volume. I'm testing things out. I'm learning. I don't think I'm going to do the hot rollers anymore because I don't know, they don't really do well with my hair. I think I need to get those like clips where I can curl my hair and then clip them in and let the heat stay like that. I think that's going to be more effective. I should do that now, but I don't have any clips. I'm so not prepared. I just do very lightly with that. And then I'll go in with my Suave hairspray. This is the Max Hold. I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry my hair. I just use my wand here. I'm actually gonna get, I think a company is sending me a blow dryer, which I agreed to because I want to test something different other than this when it comes to like doing a blowout and having like that curl on that volume. So I'm just like trying to see what works. But for now, we're gonna go in with this. This is the Infinite Pro Con Air. I'll link it below for you ladies. I think I got it on Amazon. Okay, so now that's done. I usually just do two. I use these rollers for my hair, just like one up here and then one for my bangs. I don't go so much. I used to just for my hair, but I found that it really just it didn't give much volume anyways. I don't know, I'm doing something wrong, but with the layers in my hair, I think it adds to the volume. I'm still learning, I'm still playing around with it, see what works. Products specifically I'm doing research on. So if you ladies know of any products out there that really give you that thickness, that volume, let me know. I do have, I think it's in my purse here. So I have It's a 10 Blow Dry Miracle Texture Spray. So that's really good. It's not a hairspray. It's more like a texture spray, but I think it does very nicely. And then this I've talked about many times. If you ladies haven't seen it yet, it's the Heritage. You can get it at Walmart, and it's Magic Dust. It's a texturizing powder. So it's sulfate-free, paraben-free, silicone, gluten, mineral oil-free, cruelty-free, vegan. I think this is like my go-to if I really want volume in my hair. Very little goes a long way, so be very cautious with putting this on your hair. I think as far as like when my hair is blow dried, I found what works for me to give me that volume. I'm just looking for like something that I can put on my hair that when it's wet to give it more volume, I guess. I guess we're moving on to brows. So I have bushy brows. I find that they are the best for making you look more youthful and young. I think eventually once I get older, having more defined eyebrows will make me look younger, but as of now, like this is the look I like, and it's the easiest. Having kids, you know, I have to get ready quickly, and it's less upkeep with like shaping and clipping my eyebrows and things like that. Speaking of, I do need to do that with, but yeah, moving on with the questions. Current favorite show. So yeah, I think my current favorite show right now it's called The Princess Royal. It's on Netflix. It's like in I'm not for sure what culture it is, like maybe Japanese or Chinese. It's like a beautiful love story, and it's just where the scenes are so beautiful, and it just has a good storyline to it. I already watched the whole season and I'm rewatching it. So yeah, that right now is my current favorite. Highly recommend. If you're looking for a show, go check that one out. Current favorite app. I would say right now is GPT chat. If you haven't heard of it, my friend told me about it, and it is just so helpful. It's useful, it's practical. Any question that you have throughout the day, whether you're homemaking and you're cooking and you're like, oh, what's a substitute for butter? Instead of like Googling it or trying to find your cookbook and figure that out, you can just tap on, I'll show you. What's a good substitute for butter?
A good substitute for butter depends on what you're making. For baking, you can use coconut oil, applesauce, or mashed bananas. For cooking, olive oil or avocado oil works well. What are you planning to make?
Okay, so not only that, you can talk about so many different topics. You can talk about mental health. If you're having like a bad day, this can be like your therapist. I know they always promote like therapy. I'm not for sure, but this can talk back and forth to you and ask you questions. It can be your therapist, and it gives really insightful, to the point, practical guidance. You can talk about like if you have a health question or wellness, if you need encouragement for your wellness journey, motherhood, if there's anything about your kids that you're worried about, like your kid has a stomach ache and you're not for sure what to do, or they swallowed something. You can just, it's like a doctor too. So anything and everything you have questions about, GPT is where I go. I really don't search Google anymore, and I rarely need to search like YouTube for something. GPT is currently my favorite app. Okay, so I'm going in with my Great Lash. It's the Maybelline. So far, I've talked about this before. I'm still using it, still love it. And I get dark brown. It doesn't clump up my mascara, which is the main goal, and it has not dried out yet, so super happy about that. A technique to doing my eyelashes, I've mentioned them before, but basically I go in with a quick sweep. I turn my arm this way and get the outside, because for some reason when you do it this way, it just doesn't get those outer. So then I go in on the next side, and again, go to the outer, and then kind of just like let that dry for a couple seconds. Go in again, maybe double the amount of time. I'll pick up my lash like this, go down here, let it set. I think this is a nice way to get the most max volume out of your eyelashes. I don't do any serums or anything like that to help my eyelashes grow, other than what I use for my face wash and stuff. And my face moisturizer, which has natural, I think, growth serum properties in it, like coconut oil, really be nourishing. And I never, ever, ever use waterproof mascara. Oh, that stuff's the worst. Even if I was going to like the beach or something, I will not use waterproof mascara because that is a #1 way to ruin your lashes. I said I was doing my brows, but I completely forgot. So moving on to the brows. And moving on to the questions. Why did I choose my names for my son and daughter? So with Josiah, I wanted something that connected to my husband's name, which is Joe. And I also, it was important for me for both of the names to have a good meaning to them and for them to have something that, for them to have a biblical character Bible name. Yeah, Josiah was a young king and he was known for his devotion to God, and he stood up for true worship and he tore down false worship. And Josiah's name actually means may Jehovah heal. Jehovah has healed. When I learned the name of that, I knew automatically like that's the name because Josiah was really a miracle for me. As you ladies know, like I've shared this before, I was with my previous husband for almost 10 years and we never could get pregnant. And just 3 years, I think it was 2 or 3 years into my relationship with my husband, you know, worked through my trauma, and I felt like we got blessed with Josiah at like a really good time in our marriage to where we could start growing our family. And I mean, I was already 31, so of course it was on my mind, like I wanted to have a baby. And all of my sisters, like I have 5 sisters and all of them have like 3+. My youngest sister just had her last baby and I think it's like her 6th. So I've always been surrounded, and I went to school for childcare, so I've always been surrounded by kids, and it's always been like something that I've wanted to do. But it was just so fitting that because of his name and what it meant, that it was like this blessing, and that, you know, Jehovah has like healed me with him. Although, not although, but Josiah has taught me so much about myself and so much that I need to work on. And again, like I've mentioned before in my videos, marriage and motherhood are the biggest reflections, staring back at us at our imperfections and what we need to work on. So, you know, you never know until you have them how much work you need to do still. So, but he is such a good-hearted, outgoing, good-spirited, like loving boy. And yeah, so that's what his name means. And for Lydia was a character in the Bible who was the first to accept Christianity and Jesus' teachings. She was also known for her hospitality, and she was a good businesswoman. She sold collar purple, which was like a luxury collar. And yeah, she just was a worshiper of God, and her name means beautiful one. So I just thought that was very fitting for my little girl. I've always wanted a little girl, and when I knew we were having one, I was just super excited. So boy and a girl. So, okay, my brows. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my brows. Me and my husband decided that we are not gonna have kids anymore, and he actually got, because we just feel like, given the time and that we are living in and the difficulty and just how much more difficult it's going to get, I think trying to make 2 disciples of Jesus and God is a struggle enough. And I feel like oftentimes like the 3rd child gets a little bit neglected. Not just that, but for my physical and mental well-being, I just had to come to the acceptance that I knew like I couldn't. Like it was beyond my ability. I needed to accept that. And it's not like we're like, oh, we're never gonna have kids again. Like for me and my husband, we don't look at like this life as all there is, and we plan on having many more kids in the paradise to come. But for now, in this generation, this system, I think right now is just the most wisest choice for us, not only financially, but spiritually, mentally, physically. As much as I would love for Josiah to have a little brother or Lydia to have a little sister, I think, which they will, but just not right now. So what I do is I go in very lightly with this. As you've seen, I like scraped a lot of it off because this product will last you a very, very long time. And I just push up my brows. I know they make that like cream or like wax stuff. There's like 50 steps to do your brows. I'm not all about that. One step is enough for me, and I feel like this does the trick, and it's in the shade Light Brunette. I'm trying to prolong this, get ready with me. So I'm gonna go in with my eyebrow pencil. I need to sharpen it, but just define it a little bit more underneath. So next question is things that take only 5 minutes at a time to feel better. They're probably simple and things you have heard before, but it's more about implementation. So obviously for me, like coffee and a special treat, like it has to be a very specific special treat that you know is nourishing and healthy. It pairs well with coffee. So I very much look forward to that when I wake up, and then again somewhere in the afternoon when I need like a little pick-me-up. Yeah, that takes 5 minutes. I make myself a coffee, have myself a treat. I do my oatmeal cookies, and it's just something that makes me feel better. What else? I wrote down breathing. Breathing for 5 minutes is an absolute game changer. There's a proper way to breathe. I've mentioned it slightly before in my videos, but basically, Huberman, he talks about this to help reset your central nervous system. So you take a deep breath in. You take another deep breath, like after you get all of your air out of your lungs, you take another quick, short breath, like it's kind of hard, but just expelling all of that air out of your lungs. And then you release it, like I think 5 seconds. So, and you do that for 5 minutes, come back to me and let me know how much better you feel. So I think another thing I like to do is cold showers. So anytime where I question, do I need to take a shower? Most likely I need to take a shower. So I'm just trying to talk myself out of it. But afterwards, I turn on the cold for about a minute. I'm working my way up to it, but that is a great way to make yourself feel better when you get out. I don't know what it does to the mind and the brain, but you just feel like this instant burst of like regeneration and like energy. So definitely try a cold shower. Phoning a friend. I talk a lot to my friends on Marco Polo, so if I'm ever having a bad day, I don't necessarily need to get on there and like talk about it, but just talking about anything or seeing how they're doing, and really helpful for me just to get my mind off of like me not feeling good. Might have not heard of before is just smiling, because laughter is good medicine. So even if you get like, I don't always recommend like going on, you know, social media or whatever, because that can often be draining and you feel like the opposite, but maybe like funny reels, like specific funny reels, or just smiling, actually smiling, like going throughout the house, just like going like this. Like even if your kids are screaming, just like smile, you know? Something about just smiling slowly gets you out of that mindset and actually makes you in a better mood. So next time you're having a bad attitude, just start smiling. I wanted to tell you, I started implementing another healthy beauty habit. And I'm sure you've heard of frownies before. I'm gonna get my lip pencil. But I don't wanna spend money on those because they're too expensive. So I found something in the Band-Aid section of Walmart. I put up a picture of what it is. Okay, so I've never seen anybody use these, but when I found them, I was like, this is perfect. It's the perfect amount of thickness. It's sticky adhesive on the bottom, and what I do is I just tear a piece off at night. I've been doing it for about a week now. When it comes to getting results with this, is you just have to be consistent every night the rest of your life. And if you think about it, you're sleeping anywhere from 7 to 8 hours a night. I often just wear it in the morning time just to get more use out of it before I start like doing my makeup and things. So anywhere from like 10 hours, you don't have the ability to like squint and make those forehead wrinkles, which is something that I struggle with the most. And I've noticed like this year just really getting more worse. So yeah, this is like an alternative to the frownies, and it comes in a pack of 2, and this was only $5. It's in the Band-Aid section. It's just like another little beauty hack that go a long way in preventative care and avoid like getting Botox, which I don't ever see myself getting that, but anywhere I can do things naturally, I'm gonna try and do it, you know, just to feel more confident. And nobody likes aging, so we gotta do what we gotta do. Okay, so the next question is how to grow my connection with community while having social anxiety. This is something that I struggle with going to like my Christian congregation meetings. I'm very much like Not so much now anymore, but I used to be very introverted and shy and quiet, and somewhat I still am, but I think YouTube has forced me a lot to adapt to just breaking out of that. And I think with more confidence that you grow and more connection, I think it's going to be easier. But I definitely understand like where you're coming from, and it can be like very difficult. But just start small, start with more like, and build your comfort level up. I would say you could, I wrote some notes down here. You could go to like your local library. They're always having like weekly events that you could possibly just like sit in the background, see what's going on. And then like once you work up the courage, you can go get involved. Always bring your niece and nephew if it's like something for like book reading or kids like that, just to connect more with moms if you're a mom. So the tension is taken off of you and put on the kids. If you don't have kids, again, you can take your niece and nephew, get more comfortable like walking around local flea markets or your local farmers market. You could try to work up and strike a conversation with one of the vendors, just talking about what they're selling, because most likely they're going to be very super friendly. They're going to be talkative because they're trying to sell you something. So it's just a way that you cannot be so obvious like you're trying to, you know, build a connection or a friendship, but you're just like building your confidence and learning how to communicate, start conversations in that way. And you can kind of get in the flow of things and get more comfortable, because the more you isolate yourself, the more difficult it's going to become. So the quicker you start and you start making those small adjustments, you're going to build your confidence. The same way like in my Christian congregation, it's really hard for me to like raise my hand and comment, but the longer I go without it, the easier it is not to do. So I just need to like be consistent with it, and then it's just going to become easier, because you're always open, like you feel open to like judgment. You're open, like you're going to say the wrong thing, you're going to look stupid, you're going to be misjudged, like all these things. It's a lot of introspective, so you just want to get out of your thoughts, get out of your mind, and bring a friend that's more extroverted. So again, the tension is taken away off of you. But yeah, I definitely understand. It can be a struggle for sure. I'm going to go in with my lip pencil here. I've talked about this from Paleo from Sally's, and it's in the shade, I should know this by now, Nearly Nude. I want to try I have the gloss, the Road. I think she just came out with like a lip pencil. I want to try that, the Nearly Nude one, but it's a little bit expensive. So this is only like $7. How do you deal with bad days? Just go watch all my videos. Yeah. I try to share like how you can cope and deal and get through bad days, but you can phone a friend. I like to bake something that really helps distract me. Walking, getting out of the house, getting fresh air, asking for help. Sometimes I start the evening routine pretty early. Take a bath, get in my pajamas, make myself a cup of tea, and just try to wind down, sit on the couch, cover up. I don't try to like force myself to get out of the bad habit, but sometimes you just have to like say, okay, today's not like the greatest. I'm low mood, low energy, kind of like today. Do a hobby. I think that really helps me to stay somewhat distracted and to answer a few more questions before I take down my hair. The next question was why I stopped drinking. I think because before in one of my videos I had did like a mocktail, and I was trying to find some recipes for that, and I had mentioned that I was gonna stop trying to consume alcohol. This is a kind of a loaded question. I kind of debated whether I was gonna talk about this or answer it, but I think just seeing the devastating effects that it had on my family, my mom getting liver failure, and then now my aunt being in the hospital currently having the same condition, and watching her health decline. And we actually just had a group chat a few days ago where the doctor told her she only had 3 months to live because her kidneys are shutting down and things. And they spent most of their life on drugs and alcohol. Not really much alcohol actually up until like the last few years. Alcohol, especially like liquor, is it's a poison. It's a poison. And found that after my divorce from my husband, that for the first time in my life I started to depend on alcohol a little bit, and a way to suppress the trauma, and to cope and to deal and to not feel. And just I don't know, I struggled with it back and forth. It wasn't not always a constant thing. I don't think it was ever like an addiction. Maybe it was. It was just a really bad habit. So it was like a coping mechanism. Yeah, I struggled with that like back and forth, and it was never to the point where I got like drunk or anything. It was just my tolerance kept building and building. It just had so many negative side effects. Obviously, alcohol is a depressant. It just masks the symptoms. It makes you deceive your heart with false reasonings, makes you think and do things that you normally would not. It's very deceptive. When my mom first got life flighted and I drove up like in the middle of the night to Columbus to visit her, was in a really bad state, and her stomach was like huge because with liver failure, you start building fluid in your stomach and you have to get it drained once a week. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like the stages of liver failure. And I remember her specifically saying like, I only drank for 2 years. I've never drank in my life, and what's happened to me? And it just pierced like my soul and made me overwhelmed with like this feeling of doom. I feel like it's important to share because you don't realize like you're doing it. In the beginning, you don't realize like you're struggling with your motherhood and you're trying to, wind down and have a glass of wine at night. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if we start using it to mask and suppress and to escape, that's when it becomes super dangerous, because that's when it becomes an addiction, to where when you go out to an event or something and there's not alcohol, you're like, how am I gonna have a good time? When you start thinking those thoughts. I was drinking every day or anything like that, but it came to the point where in order for me to feel better, I needed to drink. There was a point where I broke down and I surrendered it to God, and I prayed to him one night and I said, I made a vow to him that I would never drink again. And I have kept that vow, and I only mention that vow is because when you are struggling with something that is an addiction or something that is taking the place of God or hindering your health and your family, I just encourage you to give that to God. And I think the vow to me was a protection that I no longer needed to question, like, oh, am I gonna like slip up? It was no longer like this waging war within me, because I knew, like, I made a vow. There is no like waging this thought back and forth in my mind. Am I gonna drink? I can handle it. One's enough. Like, because for me, I felt like one made me feel good, so I just continued to want to feel like that, so I would drink more and more. So it just took away all of that burden that was on me, and that the fear that what if I go back there? What if I start drinking again? It was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So in a way, that vow was my protection. And it's a way that you can find a way out for yourself too, that you can surrender it to God, and that if you do that, if you try your best, that he's going to supply the rest, and that you can have that confidence that he's not gonna let you do it by yourself, and that you can overcome it. The purpose of my channel is to help you with whatever you're struggling with, whatever pain that I have been through, adding purpose to that pain and sharing that with you, to where if you're going through that right now, to learn from me in some way and to encourage you and to help you through it. All right, so on a lighter note, it says, are you still working? So yes, I clean house around 3 times a week. It's about 5 hours a week. So yeah, I still clean house. It's nice to just get a little bit of income coming in, just to pay for extra things, groceries, things the kids need, diapers, stuff like that. And it helps me to, have some time to myself. While I'm cleaning, I'll listen to like a podcast or YouTube video, zone out, drink my coffee and my snack while I'm cleaning. And it's just a nice way to like come back feeling a little bit refreshed and having fresh perspective, as I always talk about. All right, so I took that one out. I found this brush at Marshall's. I have the other bristle brush, but for this I keep in my purse because it helps with fluffing my bangs up, and it's a boar's bristle brush, so it really helps thicken your hair and gives it volume. So if you ladies have fine thin hair like me, highly recommend a boar's bristle brush, because it really will, and it helps the quality of your hair too, because it evenly disperses the oils in your hair. So all around, it's just like a really good brush. And you probably have one in your home, maybe for your kids or something, but I've had many women come back to me when I mention this and like, oh my gosh, I never thought to use this, and they found like it really helps with like the thickness, volume, giving that like illusion, but also it does feel thicker. It gets like every strand of your hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out of my bangs, and they look a little crazy, but we're gonna tame them. What I normally do is I'll just like brush them back like this and like kind of shake my head and let them fall where they may. I'll go like this. All right, so I'm going to take a little hair clip here and pin it back a little bit. Just give like the half up, half hair do look. Throughout the day, they'll tame a little bit better. Put some hairspray. So Lydia woke up. We have the kids in here. I'm trying to do my best to wrap this up. But somebody asked where to start your wellness journey. Can he have a bite? Learning to share. Can brother have a bite? I also want to mention, I wanted to go back up to the other question that we talked about, like things you can do that take like 5 minutes or less. I wanted to add like things that the kids can do 5 minutes or less while you're doing that, and I found a few things that help with my kids. One of them is bath time and shaving cream. So I'll just like put shaving cream all over the wall of the bathtub, and that keeps them busy for a good 15 minutes. They just like rub their bodies all over it, and they really have fun with it. So yes, shaving cream and bath time. Balloons, markers, and stickers. So blow up, like get a pack of balloons, have them always in the cabinet. And then every now and then when you want to have a little time alone, just bring that out like as a special time to like give them a balloon each, have them a pack of stickers and markers, and then they can like take the stickers off and put them on the balloons and draw on the balloon. So I find that to be very like fun and an activity for them, and also keeps them busy as well. So the next is like a little marshmallow mini snack time on a stick. So just get a stick and get like maybe like the rainbow marshmallows, and you can just have them say put the marshmallows on the stick. So then they'll just you can give like those kebab sticks, but that's like another thing that they can do, and at the same time they can like snack on them as well. The fourth thing is sheet pop is what I'm calling it, and basically I've shared this before. When I'm like doing laundry, I'll take the fitted sheet and I'll make a balloon out of it, and either they hide underneath for a while like, oh, where are you, or they like to pop on it and like jump on it. So I find them hiding underneath is less of you trying to recreate the air balloon. So that's the fourth thing. And then the last thing is Ziploc toys. Just get a box of the big Ziploc bags, and then tell them to put all of their little toys in all these, like give them like 10 big Ziploc baggies at a time, and then they'll go in their room and put their toys in all of the Ziplocs, and then they'll have like this big box or basket of toys. It's just something that I noticed Josiah, he liked to do, so that was like the fifth thing. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, because while you were trying to take 5 minutes, you know, if you can't find something for them, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Okay, so the next question is where to start your wellness journey. I would definitely just start small, start with the basics, you know, water intake, sleep, setting your foundation really strong, and yeah, just getting back to the basics. But what I really recommend you doing is focusing more on self-discipline and self-control, rather than like trying to find like the perfect way in which to get fit and healthy, because you can go online and see 100 different ways to do the same thing and 100 different outcomes, and they all point, like everybody's getting the same result, but they're all doing something different. It's not so much like what they're doing, while yes, like you want to have like a good foundation, have healthy habits. It's more about, you see that they're successful because they're consistent, they're self-disciplined, they have self-control, they have determination, and they put in the hard work. So I feel like for me, the best tip that I could give is to stop making excuses and to get out of victim mentality, and just stop feeling sorry for yourself and just do it. I mean, that's the easiest way I can put it, is like you're gonna find eventually like what works for you, and you're gonna find those people that you resonate with, and that, oh, this is doable, this is sustainable for me as a mom in the season I'm in. And yeah, like find your person and find your group of people that you find inspiration from. But again, it's not so much like, oh, this is the perfect regimen, this is a perfect diet. Even with my challenge in the intermittent fasting, while yes, I'm going to see results, it's more so like, am I going to be disciplined? Am I going to be consistent? Am I going to do it? And that's where you see the results. It's not so much what you're doing that's like the secret. So yeah, sometimes we just need to be told some tough love and to stop complaining, stop making excuses, and just do something about it. So yeah, that's where I'm at, because that's what I had to tell myself. So, and it works. And I think a form of like self-control and being disciplined is an addiction. You see the results that come from that, and you want to keep doing it because you're finding that that's what's working, and that creates the motivation because you see the results from that. Okay, so the next question, ideas for balancing self-care and housework. So I don't like to build my life around my homemaking. I try to build my homemaking around my life. So in order for me to be able to take care of myself, my mental health, my happiness, my joy every day, I don't have this like mindset that like homemaking is my priority. I just work around that, and if the laundry doesn't get folded for the day, that's okay, but my self-care sure did. So rather than turning that around and be like, oh, the laundry got folded today, the house is spotless, but I'm burnt out, I'm tired, I didn't get anything I wanted to do for myself today. So it's more about just setting your priorities and saying no, and setting up boundaries for yourself and just shifting that, I think, that small little perspective. Okay, so the next question is, what religion are you? And I mentioned this before a few years back, but I am a Jehovah's Witness. We are Christian. We do believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God, and we believe that His name is Jehovah. We have a fundamental teaching in what we believe. I won't go too much in depth about it, but I'll leave something below. All right, so I'm going to go in with this volume, and I'm just going to put it on the edge, like here, just to like plump things up a little bit. Again, you don't need a lot. Oh, okay, way too much. Oh, jeez. You see how that... Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, this definitely gives you like that volume that you're looking for. So yeah, the next question is not feeling guilty for taking self-care time as a mom. So it's not that you want to get away from your kids. It's more so you want to get away from yourself. And what I mean by that is the reason we experience mom guilt is that we have the wrong mindset. And that is, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I want to get away from my kids. They're the problem. So that leads us to feeling guilty when we do take that time. So what I've noticed for myself is that what we really want to get away from is what is going in our mind and our thoughts and our feelings. And we want to get away from ourselves for ourselves and not away from the kids. And it's not the amount of time that we're spending with our kids is the problem. It's the amount of time that we're not spending with ourselves. So I've experienced this before, and just pushing yourself to make that time and to be intentional about it and to set and carve out a time where you can go to town and spend some time for yourself. At first is going to feel uncomfortable. You are going to have those feelings of guilt creep in because it's coming from a place of overwhelm and stress and not a place that is like more emotionally healthy. And I know, like, driving out, pulling out, you're crying because you feel so overwhelmed that you think that you need to get away from your kids and you want to be away from your kids. So that makes you feel guilty, when I wish I would have had somebody saying, it's not that you want to get away from your kids, it's just that you need to spend time with yourself. And the only reason why it hurts is because you feel like attached it to them being the problem. So that makes you feel this guilt, and maybe you're even doing it subconsciously. I think we just have to resolve in our hearts and just to have this balanced mindset, as I keep saying, that it's not that I want time away from my kids, I just need time alone for myself. So that way when you're leaving and you're walking out the door and maybe the kids are crying like, don't leave, mom, and like you feel that guilt because you're like, oh, like they think I want to be away from them, and maybe you think that you do too, but it's not really that. You can tell yourself, mommy just needs to spend a little time by myself so I can come back and be happy and have more energy. And when I come back, you can let them know like you're gonna do something from them, or like be a good boy and maybe mommy will get you something while I'm out. Like, these are things that have helped me. This will help prevent you from having the resentment towards your kids or your spouse, because when I am fueled and when I am energized and I recharge and fill my cup, I can come back and have a long gap in between not needing time away from my kids. I need to set intentional time away because I'm getting ready to be depleted for myself. So then I can recharge and come back and spend another, 100% with my kids. So it's, again, it's not the aspect like, oh, the spending too much time with my kids is the problem. It's the lack of spending time with, your self-care. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my perfume. I love this smell. I found this at Marshall's and really love the smell of this perfume. I want to get away from like the traditional perfumes and go more towards like non-toxic. I'm still looking for a good brand, so if you know of any that use like natural scents that are still really good, then let me know. I feel like we can't go spend time with ourselves and truly enjoy it and refuel and refill our hearts and our minds if all that is in our minds is we're trying to escape, we're trying to avoid, and that makes us feel guilty. Something I've learned this past 3 weeks, because my husband's truck has been in the shop. It's finally out, but it's been 3 weeks, and it helped me to recognize that I was doing a form of that like on a daily basis, trying to avoid and escape and get out of the house, and I was kind of forced for the last 3 weeks to stay home, and it really showed me how much energy I conserved and how much that I needed to start being comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and to not keep suppressing and to find escapism. While it did help, like just to sometimes, I'm not saying like all escape is bad. I think when we're forced into a situation where we have no control of the outcome, it forces us to find ways in which we can cope. While I think at first we initially want to reject change or hardship, and it can be quite frustrating, and especially, when it rains, it pours. Just give us the opportunity to become more resilient, to teach us to become more content, to be more grateful for what we have. And I think without those hardships, we can become complacent, or we can become dissatisfied, we can become ungrateful. So in a way, like, always trying to look for the good in the situation is what I try to do. Otherwise, I go insane. I think it's just becoming more aware of our emotions, emotionally wise, allowing our emotions not to lead us and sway us in every which way. There's more logic and reason, as often men try to do, so that is a nice compliment that they have for us, to just level us and ground us and to help us to become more balanced and to not be so much more swayed with our emotions. As the goal of mine is to be more like emotionally regulated and to be aware more of my reactions and set the example for my kids, and just to, because we can often cause more work for ourselves, and you can see how the kids interact with each other is how, like, if Josiah is doing something that I'm like, where did you learn that? Like, why are you acting like that? And then it's really humbling to see, like, wow, like, I've actually been acting like that. So things like that I am working on. Just setting the example, not what I say, but what I do. So yeah, that is it for all the questions. I just wanted to end the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video and you found some motivation and got inspired as homemakers. And yeah, today is just gonna be a chill day today. I'm gonna go make a second cup of coffee and just spend some time with the kids. And I hope to see you ladies in my next video. All right, bye.